Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Say More podcast. I'm your host, Phoebe Hagen, and we are still missing our other host, Lauralie, which I'm so sad about. But everyone go message her and say, "Where are you? We miss you." For the podcast because I miss her. I miss our little catch ups and talks and stuff like that. Um, but I obviously know she's been super busy since her amazing win for how long ago was it now? 2 weeks ago? Almost 2 weeks, or just over 2 weeks now since the Olympia, which has gone so quickly. It's been 2 weeks since the Olympia. So yes, everyone go message her. Everyone go say, hey, where are you? We miss you. Phoebe misses you. Come back, please. Because yeah, we need her back. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I This is just going to be another little catch up, and there's a specific topic that I do want to talk about because I've recently spoken about it a little bit on my Instagram, and I did not expect the reaction I got. So I'm gonna kind of give you some just insight with it and stuff like that. But little updates with me. I'm doing well. Like obviously, if you've known, if you're new or if you're not new or whatever, obviously I went through a huge burnout phase this year, and I think I've been sharing it, I've been vocal with it, but I haven't shared it as much as I'd probably want to. Obviously I'm processing it myself as well, so I'm kind of just like, it is what it is. I don't know how to kind of like share it because I also don't want to share the wrong thing. I don't want to share what I feel because I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know what to share, if that makes sense. I don't know how vulnerable to be. But anyway, since then, and when I say I was burnt out, I mean, I was burnt out to the point where I was like, I'm tired of training. I'm tired of tracking. I'm tired of bodybuilding as a whole. So for me, the past few months has literally been since April. Since April till now, it's been a case of let's get myself back to where I want to be, where I thrive, where I feel enjoyment and fulfillment again without having too much pressure, all that type of thing. And as I've shared my journey, a lot of people, I've realized so many people feel the exact same. Like it's actually mad. And I thought I've had a lot of in depth conversations with, just people that I follow, people that have replied to my stories, all that type of thing. And so many people say, I feel lost or I'm burnt out as well, but I feel like I shouldn't feel like this. And I don't know, it's just surprising. I honestly thought it was going to be a lot less people that feel like this, but surprisingly there isn't. There's a lot of people that go through this exact same feeling. And I think sometimes it's actually navigating how you feel just in general, because sometimes it's so like, I don't know what I'm actually supposed to feel. Um, I feel like I should just be getting it done and just shut the fuck up and just, stop being a pussy and just get on with it. But at the same time, that's exhausting. Having that mentality all the time is exhausting. So for me, I've really like tapped into navigating, okay, am I tired? Yes. Am I going to make myself feel bad for not doing this workout or for doing this? No, because I need to rest. I need to recover. And I need to also have a healthy relationship with myself and not bully myself into always feeling like I have to do this, have to do that, when I actually don't want to do it. Do you know what I mean? So just been navigating that. And I'm in a really good place now where I'm enjoying my workouts again, which is really nice because for a very long time I wasn't. For a really, really long time, every time I was doing weight training, I was like, I'm bored of this shit. I don't want to do it. I don't want to have to lift the same weights I've been lifting because I can't gain any muscle because I need to stick to the division and all this type of thing. It's draining. So I was like, I just need to do what feels good for me. I need to move what makes me like when it makes me feel good. So for me at the moment, it was like functional training. I was really enjoying functional training. I still am, but I've started to add in, my coach has now said like, right, we need to add in more, resistance training to make sure that we don't lose any muscle. And we still kind of, in a way, gain muscle, because my feedback was I still needed to build muscle. And quite honestly, I don't think I needed to build muscle. I think I needed to prep in a way that wasn't depleting my body so much where then I lost a lot of my fullness. Because I feel like at 8 weeks, 6 weeks, I was in a good position. And then from that, it was like, I just deflated. So, but that's a different conversation. So, yeah, so obviously they said that they still want more pop, still want more density from me. So I still need to keep that. And obviously, if you just do functional training, at some point, you're probably going to lose a little bit of muscle mass, which we don't want. So I've been adding in a lot more resistance training and I've really enjoyed it again, which is good because again, I've been working on actually wanting to do it versus feeling like forcing myself to. Because again, sometimes you get to the point in your journey where you just have to think and not do, which is fine, but that only lasts so long. These types of mentalities only last so long. And if you don't enjoy what you do, running on the fumes, running on the goal, running on the dream is only going to last so long until you're burnt out and you're like, I can't do this anymore. So I want to protect that. I want to make sure that I'm not just going in head first and being like, fuck it, I need to just sacrifice everything. I actually have to want to do it. And that's going to be longevity for me in a whole. So anyway, that was a bit of a ramble, but I have been feeling a lot more. I think it's ever since the Olympia. It's literally been ever since the Olympia. It's been ever since I don't know. I think it's been ever since I've started therapy again. So I've started therapy again. I started that a couple of weeks ago, and just talking about how I feel is definitely something that has helped me navigate just actually what I feel. Because again, us as athletes, it's so easy for us to just be like, I don't want to talk about how negative I feel. I want to just be positive and all this type of stuff. But there also are things that you just need to voice, even if it sounds stupid. Like I did it the other day where I went on a walk and I just was talking. It was really early in the morning. There was no one around, but I was just outright talking to myself and outright just saying how I felt in that moment, like just by myself. And sometimes you just need that. You sometimes just need to talk, not have anyone to reply to or have any responses or opinions, just get it out. So, one, I've been getting it out a lot more. So one, my therapist has said to me that I need to just voice how I feel a lot more, whether that's to friends, to partners, and don't feel stupid about saying it. Don't feel like, oh, I feel silly. Just voice how you feel. Because I'm very much the type of person to be like, oh, I feel stupid saying this, but, and she's like, I don't want any of that because you're then already saying you feel silly saying it. So it makes you not want to say it even more, if that makes sense. So we want to try and make sure that we just outright say it and actually be confident in how we feel and then navigate going from there, if that makes sense. So that's me in a nutshell for the moment. And yeah, it's been nice. It's been really nice to just feel in a routine, feel enjoyment again, feel fulfillment from just moving my body in general, and just feel relit again. Feel like that passion behind me to want to get back on stage and want to lift and want to do the things. Because again, I got into bodybuilding because I loved training, and now and in my head this year I'd left training because of bodybuilding, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense in my brain. It shouldn't happen, but again, when you get to top levels, that's something I need to keep considering. When I get to a high level like this, it's going to be harder. It's going to get tougher. And if you're, going after your pro card or going after a hard, fitness goal or anything in general, any goal in particular, it always gets harder at the top. And I think for me, sometimes I don't know how to navigate that when I'm at the top. And I don't know how to navigate those feelings of oh my God, this is really real. And I just need to get over that and just try and figure out. But anyway, so things have been good. And I did actually mention on one of my last YouTubes that I was thinking about obviously competing next year. I still don't know if I'm going to compete next year. I'm going to be completely honest. I think I saw the Olympia. I got hyped. I got excited. I also got really sad that I wasn't there. I got super sad. Not like FOMO where it was oh, wish I was there. No, I got upset, upset that I wasn't there. Because I've been representing my country, representing the UK for the last 2 years at the Olympia, and no one was there for the Olympia this year. And I wasn't there for the Olympia, and it just felt weird, and I didn't like it. And so for me, I was like, yep, I'm getting back on stage next year. This needs to happen. But realistically, I also need to see how I feel. I can't just go into this circle of, yep, I've had a few months off. Now I feel good to prep again, because this is also another thing I think people underestimate is they've had a few months off and they think, yep, I'm okay to prep again, which sometimes you're really not. And that's also okay. you don't have to prep every couple of months. You can figure out what you need to do, have more time away, because again, having more time away is good for just one, your mental health, your overall physical health. And it also makes you like grow more like love for the sport. I feel like if you do something all the time, sometimes it can start to feel like a chore versus actually like excited to do it. So I feel like that honestly was me a little bit. So just being away from the stage and being away from prep and stuff in general is making me want to do it more and just have that love back for it in a way that makes me want to do it. So yeah, I feel like that's me at the moment. So yes, I might compete next year, I might not, I have no clue. But I'm working on getting my mindset in the right place to actually have a successful prep more so than anything. That's the main thing. Like my body probably could prep right now and be good to go because we did bloods not too long ago. Everything's in check. You know, like food, I need to get up higher. I do need to get up higher because my appetite recently has still just been really, really low. And I hate to force feed. It's making me feel sick, like eating more than I feel like I can consume in terms of trying to get the calories in. So I'm trying to like actively move a little bit more. And like I'll go into what I've been doing training wise in a minute, but I've started more like doing more movement and it has gone up slowly. But I know if I was to go into a prep now, my body probably could probably take it, but my mindset probably couldn't. Like my mind probably would go straight back to, oh my God, I don't want to do this. Like, so I need to make sure that my mind is in the right place. And I think I'm completely fine with like saying that because I think a lot of people, again, I've had conversations with people that have said, I'm embarrassed to say that I don't want to prep. And I'm like, girl, why? Like, why are you embarrassed to say that you don't want to prep right now? You're like, we can't be prepping 24/7. You can't. Like, I know everyone says that, you know, it's a 24/7 lifestyle. And don't get me wrong, it is, but it also can be a time and a place to actually give yourself time to recover, rest, and go again. Like that's what off season also is as well. It is a time and a place to recover, get your body in the right place before you then go into a prep again. But I think we see that as okay, no, we need to keep pushing, and you know, which is it is. It's a double-edged sword. It's like we do need to keep pushing, and we do need to be 24/7 with wanting to, you know, get after the goals, like building muscle, getting our condition better for next year, all that type of thing. But at the same time, you do need your mind to reset, recoup, and then go again. I mean, that's just my 2 cents. I know obviously a lot of people probably think in a different way, but I also know I'm just speaking from my experience. This podcast, and you know, when Lauralie's on this and when we're doing this podcast is about sharing our experiences and how we feel, and that's just how I feel. So, but yeah, training at the moment has been good. I've actually signed myself up for something that is in about 4 weeks' time, I want to say 4 weeks' time. Yeah. I mean, it's not that big a deal to be fair, but it's a 10K. So I've signed myself up for a 10K run. So I've been running, me and my friend Steph, we've been on like a little fitness kick and we kind of want to do a high rocks in April. And now I put it out there. Now I'm like, okay, cool, I've got to do one. But it's a thought. We don't know if we're going to do it yet. I also don't know where I'm going to be mentally or if I'm doing prep or whatever I decide. I don't know. I think in January, we're going to kind of like say, are we going to prep for one or not? Are we going to do it or not? And then kind of go from there. But we've been on a little fitness hike at the moment where, you know, we've been doing a lot more like functional classes. We've been going on a lot more runs. Like the last 2 weeks, we've gone on 3 runs per week. And we've signed ourselves up for that 10K to make sure that we can kind of like increase our running and just get better at it. Because if people know already, if you don't do something that much, then you're not going to get good at it, especially running. It's something that you need to kind of be consistent with, I feel. So we started to kind of run again and I'm absolutely battered. Like I'm so tired and sore, but it's such a good feeling. Like I love that feeling of like, yeah, I'm tired and sore and exhausted, but like, oh, I feel so good, like to actually like, because I've just, you know, completed all this stuff. So we did a 5K on Saturday and we did it without stopping, which was really good because we haven't done a 5K for a very long time. We've been doing 3K on the treadmill for a while. And then we were like, right, let's push for a 5K to make sure that we can get that in the bag and keep doing that consistently. This week, we're going to do 6K. And then the week after that, we're going to do 8K to try and push ourselves up because we need to do a 10K before we actually do the 10K because we want to do 10K without stopping. So that's our little goal, which is kind of nice. And yeah, I'm feeling like feeding in like little goals here and there now, which does feel good because as you guys know, I was talking before about, not having a goal, and it's okay not having a goal. And I still believe in that and I still kind of stand by that. But for me at the moment, I do want to kind of start implementing small little things that make me feel good instead of just kind of being in that limbo phase. And I feel ready to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I am pushing it and being like, right, I need to have a goal because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, no, I actually feel like I can handle a goal and I actually want to push towards a goal now. Do you know what I mean? Again, it's all in my mind. The rest of this year, I said to myself, after I finished prep, I said to myself, everything I do from now on has to be because I want to do it, not because I have to do it. And I've literally said that to myself every single day. And I'm like, yeah, some days I should have trained and I didn't want to. That's fine. But everything, I need my mentality to want to do things versus have to do them. And I can now I now can start feeling myself getting that love again and getting that like just relit feeling again, which just feels so good. And it's taken a while, don't get me wrong. And some people would have just been like, shut the fuck up, Phoebe, and just get it done. Like, stop like moaning about it. But that, I think doing things that you don't want to do makes sometimes the hatred grow fonder, I don't even know if that makes sense, but sometimes you just need to step back. And that's what I've said to so many people recently that feel the same as me. I've just said, step away from it, try and, maybe do something different and then do something like, again, do bodybuilding or training style or whatever later on down the line and then see how you feel. But yeah, so training's been good. I've been really enjoying training and stuff at the moment. We've been doing 2 functional training sessions a week, 3 runs a week, and then 3 lower body sessions a week. And usually those functional trainings will be my upper body days. Because if I'm honest, my upper body doesn't really need to grow. It can just be thicker, I guess, or like, sorry, not thicker, denser. But I don't think it actually needs to grow. That was nothing that the judges said for me that needs to be bigger or anything like that. I just needed to be fuller, which if I'm, like I said, if I'm honest, I feel like that just comes down to how my prep goes, like the end of my prep goes versus how much muscle mass I have, if that makes any sense. But like I said, that's a different story. Anyway, so that's me in a nutshell at the moment, and nothing else is really going on. Like, I feel pretty settled and steady at the moment. It feels good to just feel nice again and not wake up and be, exhausted or tired. Like, I'm doing things I want to do. Like, it just feels nice. And I think that's what it's about. You have to live for the things that you want to do. And I will keep trying that from the rooftops until the day I die. So anyway, the subject that I wanted to talk about today was, it's a subject that, again, I spoke about on not my story, sorry. I did like a little reel about it a couple of days ago. And so many people responded in a great way. But I will tell you a story behind it. So if you haven't seen that reel already, it was me talking about how to love your off-season body and actually feel confident in it. And the funny thing about that was that reel has been sat in my drafts for like 2 weeks. And I've been not scared, but like nervous to post it because, because this is a really silly thing to think. And it's only because I've actually been told this. And that's the reason why, by someone really close to me or used to be close to me, is that sometimes I post things that are very on the opposite scale. So like in prep, I'm really like, go for it. And like, really hardcore, like this. And then when I'm in off season, I'm like, oh, love your body. It's okay to gain weight. And someone that was really close to me said that to me, that like, you need to stop having that mentality of like, it's okay to put on weight, which I think has probably screwed me up a little bit more than I would like to admit, in my off season, more than anything. But anyway, that specific reel that I posted has been sat in my drafts for 2 weeks because I was nervous to post it, because I'm always nervous to give the wrong information. I never want to kind of like post something and be like, no one thinks that way, Phoebe, like shut up. But at the same time, so many people felt the exact same ways. And that's what I want to talk about this topic today. I don't even know how to word it properly, but the things that you do and tell yourself on days where your body image isn't positive. That's pretty much what I've wrote down as the title. And I feel like it's really common I mean, for me, it's definitely been common where, on days that I don't feel good confident wise, I'll just put on baggy clothes. But I'm so over hiding my physique and hiding my shape just because I'm slightly heavier than I am when I was in prep. And if I'm honest, even when I was in prep, I would hide my body as well. So where's the in between? Where's the positive body image coming from for myself? Like, where is it coming from? Because yes, when I'm lean, I feel confident, but I'm still wearing baggy clothes because I don't feel still womanly. And I mean, now I'm probably showing off my shape way more than what I was in prep because I love my curves and I like how I look. And actually, that was a common thing that a lot of people said. They were like, do you know what? It's actually funny. I find it hard to prep. I love bodybuilding, but I find it hard to prep because I don't like how I look look at the end in a prep because I feel deflated, I feel small, I feel like I haven't got any curves. And then when I'm in my off season, I love how I look. And then trying to get into a prep is difficult. So that for me on the reverse spectrum is kind of interesting as well. But basically, I just wanted to kind of go through things that one that I would tell myself, because again, a lot of people wanted me to elaborate on this subject. And I think it's a good subject to talk about because, again, even the reaction I got from just posting that one reel, so many people were just like, I feel the exact same. And I think sometimes any feelings that you feel, um, you actually forget how many people also feel them as well. Like anything that you felt in your life that that's made you feel insecure or unconfident or, whatever, 9 times out of 10, someone has felt that feeling as well. So I think it's just actually accepting, okay, there are other people that feel like this as well. I'm not the only one. Stop thinking that it's like an individual thing, if that makes sense. So these are the things I've written down. So, what are things I can do or tell myself on days where I feel like my body image isn't positive? So, things that I can do: shift my focus to more functional. So, what I mean by that is instead of looking at what my body looks like, telling myself and focusing on what my body does for me, if that makes sense. So, what does it allow me to do? It allows me to, I know it sounds really airy fairy or whatever, but it allows me to get up in the morning. It allows me to go for a walk. It allows me to actually do my cardio, actually train, and get through all the things within the day that I need to get done. Like, I think honestly, I'm definitely one of these people, but we really don't understand like how much our body actually does for us. And just because it's not lean doesn't mean that it's still not worthy of all the things it does, if that makes sense. So for me, I like, if I'm having a day where I'm like, oh, I don't feel good or I don't feel good in myself, think of all the things that your body actually does. It really does make a massive difference. You just have to kind of keep telling yourself that it's not only about aesthetics, it's not only about what the body looks like. Most of the time when you're in prep, your body's barely functioning anyway. So you want to try and make sure that you're actually looking at the functionalities that your body can give you, like energy. It can give you better brain function. Like all these things happen when you have that little bit more weight on you. And that is okay. That is completely fine. That allows you to gain muscle mass. It allows you to have more energy to spend time with your loved ones and give back to the people that have kind of like, been in your journey, all that type of thing. Looking at what the functionalities of what your body can do versus only what it looks like is something that's super important. And I don't think many people do enough, for sure. Okay, next one. Challenge your negative thoughts. So, whatever you're saying to yourself, whether that be, I don't look good today, if you're stuck in that loop of like, I don't look good, I don't look like how I look, acknowledge those feelings and don't just kind of push them to the side and kind of like just hide them. Acknowledge why you feel good, why you feel bad that day. Is it because, you're coming on your period? Is it because there's been, you've eaten something like that before that hasn't agreed with you? So this is why you look a little bit different. There's definitely things and factors as to why we, feel good one day and not another day. Actually look at those negative thoughts and challenge them and be like, okay, cool. Why am I having these negative thoughts? Is it because you might have seen something that someone was doing and it's made you feel bad about something else? Because sometimes that's happened to me. What I've looked at how someone else is doing something and it's made me feel bad about myself. It's not you don't mean to do it, but sometimes it just happens. And it's not okay that it happens, but you have to also talk yourself why those things have happened and not just kind of be like, cool, I feel shit. Let's just rot and sit in a hole. But also sometimes you can just do that as well. Because I've definitely had those days where I've just rotted on the sofa and I've just been like, cool, I need this. I just need to not have a day on social media, not working, not doing anything, and just chill, not do anything. Because I need to just sit. But we also can't stay there for too long. We can't stay there forever because then those negative thoughts are just going to consume you. So challenge those negative thoughts and understand why you're feeling like that. Because that's something, again, super important. Okay. Oh, my throat is so sore today. I don't know why. Oh, sorry. If you heard that, I'm sorry. I don't know why my throat is so sore. Actually, no, I do know why my throat is so sore because I went for a 3-hour hike on Sunday. Today's Tuesday. I went on a 3-hour hike on Sunday and I feel like I've been dehydrated ever since. Like in the desert, we went on a hike and it wasn't like a steady, like steady flat hike. It was like an actual like uphill climbing up rocks type of scenario. And it was great. It was really fun. And my therapist told me to do something spontaneous. So I ended up doing that. But it was really tough. And I feel like I've been dehydrated ever since. Anyway, okay, back to the list. So practice gratitude for small things because again that's something I definitely don't do. Like I'm always looking at the bigger picture. I'm also always looking at what I'm like, the big goal ahead of me. The small things could be something small like, what, I'm really grateful for how good my hair looks today, or I'm really grateful for how good my skin looks today. I'm really grateful for my partner, like for him just making me breakfast. I'm really grateful for me feeling strong today. It's just small things like that make you just feel good for the rest of the day versus instead of expecting them to happen, actually appreciate when they do happen because they don't always happen all the time. Like strength can go up and down. Your hair, I have about 2 good hair days a week, I want to say. So when I do have a good hair day, I'm like, I really appreciate you. Like just actually appreciating the smaller things and not always looking at bigger pictures. It sounds silly. It really sounds silly. But it makes you just feel good for the smaller things and not always having to look forwards at the huge things all the time and only feeling fulfilled. The reason behind it is because we don't only want to be fulfilled from massive projects, massive goals, massive dreams. We want those things. Yes, we want to strive and we want to get after those things, but we also want to feel good when we do achieve small things and not just push them to the side and feel like they're insignificant when you complete those tasks. You actually want to feel good about them versus just being like, yeah, cool, I just did that. And I think as an athlete and as a bodybuilder, it's very easy to look at the smaller things and not appreciate it as much again. So appreciate gratitude for the small things, 100%. Okay. So another thing that I've said is move in a way that makes you feel good. Now, this is something that, again, I've been doing literally the last couple of months, and it really has switched my body to just make me feel good instead of doing the things that I feel just not drawn to and they don't actually make me feel good. So for example, obviously doing bodybuilding style training, I was sick of it. I didn't feel good when I was doing it. I was tired. I didn't want to do it either. So it wasn't making me feel good versus functional training. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to run around, have that kind of like adrenaline rush and like actually just feel good, like releasing those endorphins. And that doesn't always go for everyone. That could be the other way around. So someone could be doing functional training, be like, yeah, fuck this. This sucks. I want to go back to bodybuilding training, and it makes you feel good. But regardless of what that is, move in a way that makes you feel good. So don't just do something because again, you have to do something or feel like you should do something. Do it because it makes you feel good, and continuously do that because it will make you feel so much more connected with your body and appreciate your body as well versus just being like, cool, I'm doing this because I have to do this. And it's almost like a punishment in a way. So I think, yeah, that's something that, again, super important. I think something that we don't do enough is doing something because it makes us feel good. Oh my God, this one. Limit social media exposure. So get off Instagram, get off YouTube, get off your phone in general sometimes, because you'll see me sometimes disappear for days, and I'm just having a detox. Like I'll just have a social media detox because I'm like, yeah, cool, I need it. Like being on my phone, what I've noticed recently is two things. One, being self-employed is great because you get to pick your schedule, but it also sucks because you get to pick your schedule, because it's very easy to get drawn in and distracted from things, away from your routine or away from things, because you do have a set structure for yourself, but you are your own boss. You can change that if you want, you know? So for me, if I get up, if I wake up and I go straight to my phone, the rest of the day I feel sluggish, I feel slow. And I've tested this theory for the last couple of months, and it's it's crazy how much it makes a difference when I'm not on my phone in the morning. When I just get outside or get up and do something, go for a walk, do something, just get off your phone. Don't be on your phone in the morning. It makes me feel so much better throughout the rest of the day. So social media exposure can be great for one or two things, because I feel like social media is great because you can connect with so many people. You can connect with different people from different ends of the world. Like I have so many different people that I didn't even think would even, like some of my best friends I've met through social media. Most of the people I've met through are from social media. But at the same time, we can be a prisoner to social media and a prisoner to all these expectations that we feel that we have to meet on social media, especially if you have a higher following or you have a business on there or something like that. Sometimes just stepping away and be like, yeah, I need to take a break. It's good for your mental health, but also good for your just body image in general, because we have to remember that Instagram, TikTok, I mean, TikTok, not as much, but mainly Instagram, it's all a highlight reel. I mean, all social media is a highlight reel if you think of it. People only really post, I mean, don't get me wrong, people definitely post more vulnerable things now and post more of a realistic and relatable side to their journey than it used to be. Because even I do the same, where I kind of post a lot more relatable stuff now and a lot more vulnerable stuff now than what I used to. I'd always post the best selfie. I'd always only post the best training clips. Like I'd always post the highlight clips or highlights of my life, which is what social media is. But that's what you also have to remember. It is a highlight reel of what social media is. So if you are having a bad image day or a bad body day or bad something, going on social media, scrolling through and seeing all these bodies that look really good, which also you should appreciate because they have worked hard to get there. So they're allowed to post those. But also it shouldn't make you feel bad because you don't look like that or you don't feel like that or whatever, you know? So comparison is the thief of joy. That's what I always say. Comparison is the thief of joy, because you compare yourself, you'll constantly only ever want to be this one person or one thing. And it's just not healthy for you to always keep chasing something that's not yours. If that makes sense. So limit your social media exposure. Honestly, it's the best thing that I've done. Also, what I've noticed not noticed, but discovered, which I know so many people probably do use already, is do not disturb mode. I don't know if anyone else feels like sometimes they either get distracted easily or they become more susceptible to go on social media if there's like notifications coming through, all that sort of thing. I sometimes leave my do not disturb on all day because I don't want to see those notifications. I don't want to see them coming through, and I'll wait until the end of the day or wait until a good time of the day for me to look at them, and then that's me done, you know? So I feel like I don't know why that's a revelation to me, like using do not disturb. So many people probably use it, but that was a revelation for me. So I felt like I needed to share. But yes, so limit your social media exposure, whether that be Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Just do this. Don't do it all the time. You don't have to do it all the time. And I know you have to, it's a good form of contact. It's how we run our business. But at the same time, one day, take one day out of the week where you just don't go on social media. Just don't post anything. Don't post on stories. Just don't reply to anything. Just allow yourself to be where you are, whether that's working, whether that's going and doing something, whatever. Just don't go on social media just for one day out of the week. I do it at least twice a week and it just feels nice. It just feels really, really nice. So, and also another thing, like I said, don't go on social media in the morning because it makes you want to just stay on your phone even more. That's what I felt like. So I'm doing a lot of my workouts now in the morning, so I can just get up, get out, and then I don't have time to then scroll on my phone, be on my phone. And then you feel like, I feel sluggish when I do that. I feel sluggish when I'm scrolling on my phone and like, you know, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. Comment down below if you do, but I just feel sluggish. I feel like lazy. I feel like ugh, when I'm like on my phone just scrolling and just can't get off of it. So yeah, that's what I would suggest. Okay. Last two or three. Actually talk about how you feel about your body or how you feel about yourself, because like, and that's pretty much what I was actually saying, obviously, before I even started this list. But when you don't voice something, it makes it so much more of an in your head thing than it actually being out there in public, not public, but out there in the air. So like, I feel like sometimes when I build up something, if I'm feeling anxious about something or if I have something on my mind, the more that I keep it in my mind, the more that it just lingers and stays and makes things so much more toxic inside, if that makes sense. So if you actually just step away and say, like, let's actually talk to my partner, let's confide in a friend, because sometimes, again, people are embarrassed to do it. They don't want to feel that vulnerable because they feel like that person will either be judging them or feel like the other person they're telling might not get it. And even if you're telling, like, it could be a parent, it could be a sister, it could be a brother, it could be anyone, it could be a friend or a therapist, like literally get therapy. Just talk to someone to get those thoughts out of your head that you might be feeling about yourself, whether it comes to your body, whether it comes to things that you're just going through anyway. It just needs to be out there so you can actually, once it's out there, I think you actually realize how silly it sometimes feels. And then you're like, cool, that's not a thing. And then you move on, Sometimes because it's in my head, I make it such a big thing. And then when I talk about it, and when I'm actually speaking about it to someone, you realize how stupid it sometimes sounds. Like, I don't know, it just sometimes makes sense when you just talk about it. And it's almost like you give your own therapy. Like when you speak about it, you can kind of answer all those questions that you had in your head, if that makes sense. So yeah, actually get it out loud, speak to someone. And also the theory that I sometimes use, or someone has told me about this, is like, if your friend was going through those same thoughts and feelings, so for example, say that you don't like how you look, I feel like I put on loads of weight, blah, blah, blah. And you're saying like, oh, you don't look good, you look awful, you look whatever. Would you be saying those things to a friend? Which I know that's quite a common exercise that I think a lot of people use. Like, would you be saying that to a sister? Would you be saying that to your mum? Would you be saying that to a friend? No. So why are you saying it to yourself? So I feel like something that needs to be done more is speaking kinder to yourself. Actually be kinder to yourself and give yourself the same kindness you would show a friend to yourself as well, versus it just being, I feel shit, I look shit, blah, 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 all the time, And the last one is sometimes the hardest one to actually go through. Actually be fucking real with yourself. Like, actually be real with yourself, because sometimes we actually feel these feelings and it can just be laziness. It can actually just be, oh, I don't want to do these things, I'm being lazy. Actually double check yourself and make sure that you're not just making excuses for yourself as well. Like, we can also get stuck in a way where we feel like, oh, I don't want to do something, like, like blah, blah, blah. And it's excuses. That's our brain telling us this is a habit for you. You constantly don't feel good doing this one thing. So this is a habit now, and it's going to be a consistent thing from now on, if that makes sense. You constantly tell yourself something, it will become a reality, and that will become habit for you. I feel like sometimes it's really easy to get stuck in our habits and excuses versus actually how logically things are feeling as well. So again, just be real with yourself as well, which is the hardest part. And as much as you say, I feel burnt out, I feel tired, I feel all these things. What are the things that are making you feel like that? And what can you do to change it? Don't just say, oh, I'm tired, I'm burnt out. What do I do to change? This was me. Like, the last couple of months, I have definitely, again, felt burnt out, tired, exhausted, don't want to do bodybuilding. Why are those feelings happening? Because this. Cool, let's change that now. That's what me and my coach have been working on, and it's been absolutely incredible. But at the same time, I definitely know that I've sat into my excuses a little bit more than I need to. And that realization was a little bit shit, I won't lie. But when I did actually get out of that, now I feel like, okay, cool. I found a good balance where I can push myself, where I'm not pushing myself to the extent of I'm going to have another burnout, but I'm also enjoying the process, but also getting after the goals that I want to. If that makes sense. It's having that nice balance. And a lot of people say you can't have balance when chasing your goals. Fucking shut up. Yes, you can. Like, you actually can. So I feel like you just need to find what your balance is. So yes. Anyway, so those were the things that I kind of, and again, I writ those things down, and like I said, the title was, what are things that you do and tell yourself on days where your body image isn't positive? But that could also go for, what do you do and tell yourself when you're just not feeling positive? You know, when you're not feeling positive about yourself, when you're not feeling positive just about stuff that you've got going on in general, what do you tell yourself and what can you do to kind of get yourself out of it? And all those things that I've just kind of gone through, that is something that I've definitely done. Not all at once, don't get me wrong. I've done some days, some not. And but keep those points in mind, because I definitely think that they will be helpful moving forwards, when whether you're in your prep, whether you're in off season, whether you're not a bodybuilder at all, whether it's just life in general, you're going after a career, you're going after just maybe being a mother, all these types of things, just navigating life in general is tough. So those are the things that I kind of have been doing the last couple of months that have helped me put myself back in a good position where I feel myself again. And it feels really, really good to actually say that, yeah, I feel myself again, versus it being, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that, you know? So anyway, so thank you so much for listening. Sorry, this podcast is literally a day late. It will be coming out. I'm literally filming this on the 29th of October, and it is the 29th of October right now, and I'm going to be uploading it right now. So I apologize for the delay, but I also thank you guys for always watching, always listening. If you're on YouTube, comment down below any subjects you'd like me to talk about, any topics you'd like to talk about, like me to talk about. If you haven't already, sign up to the Say More Patreon. We are still going nice and strong on that. And I'm giving over a lot more specific topics over there. So some of the girls on there will ask specific things, and I'm obviously going through and saying, hey, this is what I think. So the recent ones that we've kind of done are how to take on your judges' feedback positively. Another one was building your business within bodybuilding, because I know a lot of people kind of have mentioned it to me, like, how do you, get into the world of bodybuilding and create a business out of it and all that type of thing. And yeah, there's just loads of little nuggets of information on there. So if you wanted to join in there, have a look in the description box below. If you are on YouTube, and if you're on listening through this, just head to Patreon, type in Say More Podcast, and we are there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and we will see you in the next one. Or we will. I'm so used to saying we. I miss Lauralie. Please, everyone, just go and tell her to come back, because we miss her. Okay. Love you. Bye.